Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Welcome to another episode of 307 International. I'm Dimitri. I'm here with Martial. We're going to be talking about Olympiacos, about Greece. Bonsoir, Martial. Welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling quite well, even if my mighty team of Greece kind of disappointed me tonight with a poor game in Karaiskakis. But the good news is that we're getting closer to the Olympiacos comeback in Champions League, and at least the first part of the national break is done for the season, and that's a good news. It was short, but those two Greek games were quite interesting for different reasons.
Yeah, it's always weird with the international break being so early on in the season because you feel like you haven't had enough of a chance to see your team yet. And then all of a sudden, boom, we've got internationals. And you're like, I don't want this right now. I want to watch Olympiacos. Like, I want to watch my team. I don't want to watch the international break. And everyone complains about it. I don't understand why they have it so early on in the season. We've only had, 2 games? And then boom, straight away. And then we've got another international break in a month's time and another one in November. It's it's a lot to start the season. But before we get into that, just a shout to everyone to like and subscribe. Your support means the world to us. We appreciate any form of support you can give us. It's as easy as one click of a button to like and subscribe. It will help us a lot. And if you can, even better, we'd really appreciate your support on Patreon. We have packages from as little as $1 per month. You can get exclusive perks as part of our Patreon, and all of the money that we raise through our Patreon goes straight back into all the work that we do here with 307 International, both for our English shows that take place on Sundays, and then after any Olympiacos games during the week. Obviously, this show is on a Monday because there was no Olympiacos game on Sunday, and Greece was playing in the basketball, Eurobasket, which we're going to talk about in a bit. And then we also had the international today. So we thought it's best to move on Monday. But yeah, all of the support and all of the donations go straight back into 307 International. And we appreciate your help so much. Oh, one last thing. We also have social media pages. So please follow us on that. We just hit 20K on Instagram, which is insane. It's crazy. So we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ. Merci beaucoup. Gracias. Grazie. All of the language. Dankeschön. Wherever you're watching us from, thank you so much. 20,000 on Instagram is insane. It was a year ago, September last year, we hit 10K on Instagram. I remember doing the thank you video.
Yes,
and now we've hit 20K, which is just mad. So yeah, your support is unbelievably appreciated. Now, with that done, let's kick off. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got 3 different topics we're going to chat about. We're going to chat about Greece football, like the Greek national team. We're going to chat about Greece basketball, the Eurobasket, which is currently ongoing. And we're going to talk about Olympiacos and, the first 2 games are now looking into the Champions League squad. And I mean, we've got our first Champions League game of the season in just 9 days. So first things first, I think we should talk about the Greek national team football because it's the most current one. We both watched the game. Martial, I'll let you go first. Thoughts on both today and also Friday? 2 very different games for obvious reasons.
I think national team reality is difficult to put on the same basis than the club one, because the good thing with Greece right now is that I'm not getting scared when the team is playing against a smaller opponent like Belarus, for example. You know that the quality now is enough to win those games, and quite easily. Either it's Pavlidis, Karetsas, Bakasetas, Konstantelias. You know that you have Solis, you have the quality not to drop points against those teams. But the issue for Greece, and I think the issue is similar with Jovanovic, is to break that kind of sailing. Greece has a team, but also Jovanovic as a coach. Both have. When it comes to winning the game that truly matters, it could be we all remember that game in Georgia, for example. When you look on paper, the teams on that day, and yeah, for sure, Georgia has talent, but the Greece had more talent. And when you are not able to win those games, or at least to squeeze 1 point out of this game, then you go back super quickly into big questions, doubts. Now people saying the first place is over. You need to fight with Scotland for the second place, and Greece remains a very fragile national team, in my opinion. The talent is there, potential is there, but the path toward a big tournament is always very long, very tough. Uh, I don't know how to say that, but it's like England in football. Like when you can't, when you have the talent, it's of course England has different talent, but when you can't concretize that with achievements, it's so frustrating. And even if Denmark is better than Greece, this game tonight, it wasn't even a game. I don't even think Greece believed in anything more than 5 minutes.
That England analogy really hurts, man, because as a Greek Englishman who's, born and raised in England, supporting both teams, obviously I support Greece more, but Greece hasn't been in a tournament in 11 years. So I've had to put all my hopes on England, and it's been just as painful getting close and not winning. So that analogy was painful. I get what you're saying though, Martial. Greece has definitely evolved, especially under Jovanovic, against small teams, which we used to struggle and scrape a 1-0 win or a 2-1 win against the Kazakhstans and the Maltas. I'm talking 10, 15, 20 years ago, where it was like last minute goals or really disgusting sort of wins. Now we're winning those games comfortably. However, when it matters, we're struggling. And the only time where it really mattered and we've performed recently was the 3-0 away win at Scotland in March. Because in recent memory, apart from today, which today, in my opinion, was a game where you couldn't lose, you couldn't afford to lose. And we didn't just lose, we lost comprehensively, which I'll touch upon. But apart from today, both of the games against the Netherlands in the last qualification, we weren't good enough. The game against Georgia, the previous qualification again. I mean, even going as far back as 2018 with the knockouts for the World Cup against Croatia, the playoffs, we just weren't even competitive. They destroyed us. What is it, 4-0 on aggregate?
4-1, I guess.
4-1, something like that. I mean, it's it seems like we're in the middle, and we're winning those easy games comfortably, which is amazing because it means our mental health and our hearts are not having heart attacks. Because from the minute that game against Belarus started on Friday, within 2 minutes when we scored, you're like, okay, this is it. Greece are going to win comfortably. Like I fell asleep in the first half. Do you know what I mean? Like the last 10 minutes of the first half, I was so tired. I was falling asleep because I was so relaxed. But the games like today, when you're playing against a team that has the quality, and most of all has the organization, has the discipline, that's where the difference is truly showed. Because today, the way I described Denmark to my dad today was like a German car. Yeah. Everything was working exactly the way they needed it to work. They didn't have anything fancy. They didn't need the Neymars, the Mbappes, anything crazy. It was just simple play, organized play, disciplined, got exactly what they needed to get done. And it was men against boys. Denmark looked leagues ahead of where we were today. And that has nothing to do with the heart and character of the Greek players. It just has to do with the organization and the way the teams play and the mindset. And I think we're going to get there over time. Bear in mind, the average age of the team today was 24? Yeah. And Denmark was 28, 29, and half their team plays in the Premier League. We still have a long way to go to compete against teams like this. And there was too many people today in the Patreon group chat and on Greek social media and within the Greek media in general that were very overconfident. And I was one of the few that actually voted. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I thought it was going to be a 1-0 loss. I didn't think it was going to be 3-0. But I thought Denmark would beat us today. So I don't know. I mean, for me, it's this comment by Ryan Alex here. They lost the battle in the midfield. I think it's a quality issue. I agree with the first half of that sentence. The battle was clearly lost in midfield. We didn't have anyone strong enough physically in midfield. Our players looked small. They looked weak in comparison to the Danish players. I don't necessarily think it's a quality issue, but it was 100% an organization and a mentality issue because we had far too many errors. We were far too relaxed. We were second to everything. I mean, that first goal that Denmark scored was just painful to watch, losing the ball like that. What do you think?
You said is quite interesting because the mentality issue for me comes from the fact that Greece as a national team has nothing really to be backed with when it comes to do the job. Like you have player that knows how to do the job, and in my opinion, the only two players in this team currently that know how to do the job are Bakasetas and Mantalos. And of course, both of them aren't the best player that comes to mind when you think about football. I'm reading comments about Zafiris. It's normal that Zafiris gets more hype than Mantalos because Mantalos has 10 years more than the guy. But the big difference I've seen tonight with Denmark is that every single player of Denmark, or at least the core of the team, knows how to do the job in qualifiers. Most of them qualified for big tournaments already. I don't know, guys like Osberg, he came to Marseille, for example, last season because he was known for bring experience, is valuable, is consistent, barely injured. He's not the best midfielder you can dream of, but the guy knows how to control a midfield. And Greece does not have that for the moment. The best solution, I remember doing episodes about Greece when Poyet was the coach, and Poyet was shut on because he wasn't starting supposedly some talented youngsters, some youngsters with potential. And when you look at the team, the squad he has, he was facing the same issues. The issues is bigger, and yet Jovanovic improved a lot the Greek national team. But when you can't rely on Zafiris and Korbelis to beat Denmark, it's not possible. I don't even want to blame Korbelis because I said on the Patreon chat multiple times that if you want to criticize Korbelis, you need to offer a solution that is more consistent than the guy. And Greece has barely one. But I think Jovanovic had it wrong with the lineup tonight.
I agree. No, carry on. Sorry, I interrupted you. I thought you finished.
No, I was going to say that Greece can't really afford not to start both Bakasetas and Mantalos when you face a bigger opponent. You can see it from different perspectives, but the conclusion is quite always the same, because he started Solis, Carezas, and Constantelias. So what do you have left on the bench if things goes wrong? He had to sub off Carezas and Constantelias at halftime, and that was it. That was it, because when it was 2-0, it was over.
I agree. It was evident a clear lack of experience. I completely disagree with some of these comments talking about the quality of Zafiris, for example, calling them overrated and stuff like that. I think these are young guys that haven't had these big occasions yet, don't know how to handle the occasions, don't know how to run a midfield amongst the three of them without the support of someone more mature. And yes, against teams like Belarus, it works because you don't need maturity and organization. You can beat them on quality. But against teams like Denmark or I don't know about Scotland, but like when we played France a couple of years ago, or the Netherlands, when was it? End of 2023, we had them both.
Yeah.
For the 2024 Euros, wasn't it? And to be fair, against England when we won at Wembley, that was the midfield was more of a mix. You need that mix. You can't just throw in the youngsters and go play against a team that's a lot better than you, because you're going to get exposed. I agree. You needed someone. I'm not saying you needed both Bakasetas and Madalos, but in my opinion, you needed Bakasetas today. You needed the captain. You needed an organized person with experience to sort of calm things down and say, right, we need to hold the ball here. We need to hold the ball there. I would have had Masouras in as well. I know he brought him on at halftime, but players like that, players that have had that sort of experience at that level to know, okay, this is how we deal against better opposition than us. This is what we need to be doing, because some of the mistakes we were doing were criminal mistakes. That first goal, if we had gone into the half 0-0, because Denmark, up until the goal, didn't create a chance. Yes, they dominated possession, absolutely dominated possession, but they also sort of dominated possession against Scotland on Friday, and it drew 0-0. So they didn't have any big chances. And then all of a sudden, you give them the ball. First, Zolakis with that rushed pass, and then Gurbelis trying to dribble out of his defense. I don't know what the fuck he was doing there. And suddenly you're 1-0 down. And then you're chasing the game in the second half, and you're being a little bit more aggressive, and you get exposed, and then it's 2-0, and then 3-0, etc., etc. What Ryan is saying here, they looked like they were panicking in the first half, and that led to a lot of errors. Yeah, it looked like they didn't know what to do with the ball because Denmark were pressing them more than what they used to. They're used to playing against lesser opposition that sits back. And the minute they have tougher opposition that presses up on them, they're like, oh shit, what am I meant to do with the ball? Like that, I thought that was quite evident to me. And I agree, because I agree with what you said about the substitutions, because you go into the second half and you're like, fuck, who do I bring on now? You're bringing on Bakasetas, you bring on Masouras, but these aren't game changers. These are level heads that sort of control the game and help sort of get your foot into the game. If you're losing and you want someone to change the game, right? That's when you want your youngsters, your flair, your something exciting. When you're down 1-0 with 30 minutes to go, and you're like, okay, now I can bring on Caretas. Now I can bring on some magic, because clearly what we're doing is not working, but we're still in the game. But if you have these guys on and you're trying to sub them off, we don't have the quality of France or England or Spain to bring on other amazing youngsters. We've got fucking Bakasetas and Madalos and Masouras on the bench. So you're bringing them on for a steady pair of hands, but they're not going to change the game. As in, they're going to balance it. Maybe they'll make you even, but they're not going to put you on the front foot, all out attack. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah. I agree, and I don't know. For the numbers of years I've been watching the Greece national team, I always said that it's frustrating to see that the only way of snatching points against a bigger team was to basically play defense and score on a corner, free kick. I don't know,
of course.
just the one situation you could have. But the thing is, with the current crop of player, Jovanovic should have probably started at midfielder with 3 players, like either Zaferis, Siopis, Mouzakitis, or Siopis with Corberis and Mouzakitis. I don't know, 3 players in the midfield, and then you keep at least one offensive weapon on the bench. That could be like Constantelias or Caretas, and you just play with the main strength of the team. And
he thought that offensive weapon was Ioannidis. In his mind, he's thinking Ioannidis is that offensive weapon. Is that different?
Yeah, no, but maybe, I think he kind of did an all-in with the team, because he put all the offensive talent at the same time, and it didn't work it out. So it's frustrating, because it feels like a step back. To me, it really feels like a step back, because we came back to the same conclusions ever and ever, because when you see who came in tonight, you have Pelkas, you have Masuras. Bakasetas for me is probably the most important player in the squad right now. But when you look at what he's doing with Panathinaikos, it's declining, clearly. It's clearly declining. You have Ioannidis, for me, he is decent, but nothing more. And you have Siopis. You can't qualify for a World Cup with players like that. Now, it's not possible because you are facing better teams. You are facing teams that have more quality, more density. And I've seen on the comment, Denmark was better physically, and it's 100% true. The third goal is Dorgu outpacing the whole team. Like the third goal is hilarious because Dorgu isn't even a top player for Manchester United, but he outplayed physically the defense, just like we thought Solis could outplay the Danish defense. But it did not happen because as good as Solis is, he can't outplay physically guys like Christensen and stuff. That is a sailing of the Ethniki currently.
I completely agree. Quick one. A couple of people have brought up getting rid of Jovanovic, which to me is crazy, and bringing in Postecoglou. Don't get me wrong, I really rate Postecoglou. I think what he did with Tottenham, winning a European trophy, I can't believe he got sacked. Yes, there was shit in the league, but he won them the Europa League. Please tell me you agree with me that it's crazy talk to get rid of Jovanovic, right?
No, it's a crazy talk because I think he's gonna bring the team to knockouts playoff, and that is a true level of Greece right now.
Okay, so you agree that it's correct to stick with him, of course. This is a step back, but this is, in my opinion, the only step back we've had with Jovanovic so far. I think it's only gone from strength to strength so far.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Okay, good. So anyone who's talking about, anyone in the comments talking about getting rid of Jovanovic instead of and bringing in Postecoglou, good thing we both disagree, because that sorry, I was reading some comments and I was going crazy. That was full on Greek mentality of one bad result, get rid of. No, there's good work that's happening here, and it's going to work out in the end. We just need to give them time, in my opinion. Yesterday was disappointing. With that in mind, what needs to change? I mean, 2 big games coming up now next month, which I can't believe is next month, but away in Glasgow against Scotland, I'll be there. So hopefully I'll bring the good luck charm like I did at Wembley against England. And then also 3 days later in Copenhagen against Denmark. Now, in my opinion, the game in Scotland is you cannot lose. If you lose, you're not even going to get second place, because Scotland got a point away at Denmark. The game in Copenhagen, after today's result, I can't see us getting first place. I think realistically we have to go for second place. So the game in Denmark is, if we get something out of it, it's a blessing. But I have no expectations. What do you see? What do you think we need to do? What needs to change compared to today to get better results? Bear in mind, we beat Scotland in Glasgow just 6 months ago.
I see 2 ways of doing things. The first thing is Jovanovic goes back to a more rational approach for the team, meaning that he stops pairing Zaferis with another midfielder in a 2-man midfield, and he puts Bakasetas in the center of the project. And it tells to Konstantelias, you are not stealing the spot of Bakasetas yet because you're not ready for it, and you will compete with him as a sub, and you have Solis, Carezas on the wings, and maybe I would call Kostulas for those games, because out of the bench, we need the guy. I mean,
physicality.
He has a profile we don't have. He's not playing with this club. I know that, but I mean, guys like Kostulas doesn't really need to play for the club to be good for 1-2 game with the national team. And the other solution that could be more radical is to cut some players already. Like he could cut Pelkas, Masuras, Courbelis, smelling that those guys can't really make it for the World Cup, even for the playoff, and he cuts like 4 or 5 players, and he bets everything he has on that freshness to go to the World Cup. I don't think he will do that, but it could be justified because uh, you have people are mentioning Simas Costulas on the chat, but you have like I don't know. It could be changing more things. It could be like fielding Giannulis as the left back. It could change Mavropanos for the center back and use Retsos. You know what I mean? It could do even more changes.
Mavropanos
I
didn't have a good
wonder
game
if
today.
Jovanovic, yeah, I wonder if Jovanovic is able to bottle the job by changing things, or will Jovanovic end up second or third by fielding the same players? I don't know.
What do you think of this take by Aris? Play Tsimikas and Giannulis on the left side together, at least against tough teams. So you have 2 defensive-minded players on that left wing. Because the third goal was on Tsimikas' side, no?
Yes.
He's the one that got exposed on that side.
Kind of, but it was also I think it was Mavropanos that was covering.
Mavropanos as well. He was the one that was keeping him on side, I think. Or was that the second goal? I don't even remember. I think it was the third goal.
I don't know how much Jovanovic thinks that the key player have an established starting spot, because when you look at the team right now, you don't have a lot of spots available in the team. I don't know, because you know Greece national team more than me. It's not a team that change most of things when things are going bad, and national team football nowadays is even more stuck than before, because what is good with Jovanovic is that he created a solid group that is working. So we can't be really expecting him to like destroy that. He's not going to tell Courbelis to fuck off and move from the team. And you need to go back to Saudi Arabia. I'm starting Musakitis paired with Siopis and let's say Nantalos, and you're not smelling the team. I don't know. I don't know if he has enough competition to have those players react. They will react by themselves. I think Greece can win in Scotland, but the thing is, it's frustrating because there were 2 games at home, like Kariskakis. You don't have to travel. You train at the same place for over a week, which is very valuable for national team. And you have a stinker like that, man. It's so frustrating. I know that Mark is better. Like if you play that game 10 times, that Mark is winning it like 9 times out of 10, probably. But no, the attitude wasn't the one of a team that hasn't played a World Cup, a big tournament, like for over 15 years. It's disappointing. Like it's both frustrating and disappointing.
I agree.
Yeah, because the funniest thing is that it was like 3 years after Olympiacos lost in Nantes, and when you look at those 2 games, it was kind of similar, like the expectations and the end product. No, it's probably Danish player must be laughing when they go back to Denmark, because the atmosphere at the stadium wasn't that good. Also, like I've watched the Turkey's game last night against Spain, and from the beginning until Spain scored, because Spain was so much better, like the atmosphere was insane from Turkish fans.
Yeah, but I don't think you can compare the two, because Greek fans for the national team aren't the same as Turkish fans or Bosnian fans or Serbian fans or Albanian fans. They really get behind the team. I was pleasantly surprised with the fans today, in my opinion, because they sold out the stadium. It's not often that Greece gets that type of support. There was a few years ago, no one was going. Like I think their performances and the youngsters and the passion they've shown and the sort of the way they've played has brought back the Greek fans. Today, yes, was a disappointment, but I don't think it's going to put people off the Greek team just yet. And yes, I see, obviously, there's a difference between how the Turkish fans were yesterday. But as I said, I don't think we're ever going to match those kind of fans. The Greek fans just don't get as passionate about the Greek national team as they get about their clubs, like Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, PAOK, GIANNIS, etc. It's completely different for a lot of these guys. For a lot of the like fanatikus, I don't know how we say fanatikus in English, fanatical Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, etc. guys, they don't care about the Greek national team at all. So it's tricky to have that sort of fanaticism that other countries do, I think. So I don't think it's fair to compare on that level. I think the fans were personally some of the best situations I've seen in recent years with the Greek national team. There was one more thing I heard, like people were saying stuff like on a group chat that I'm in, about, oh, the players deserve to get booed today because of how they played. And I'm like, that's a bit uncalled for, isn't it? It's a one bad result. Yes, we both agree that they weren't prepared and they didn't play well. It was very disappointing, a backward step, but let's not lose our heads here, right? Am I correct in saying this?
No, you're 100% right, because as I said, I'm frustrated, but I'm not really sad or disappointed, because Denmark is just better. And as much as Greece has improved as a national team, the level is not yet the same as Denmark. So going to playoff is probably a logical path for Greece as a national team, and I truly hope it's going to happen. But yeah, there is no need to be impatient. The thing is, people need to stop hyping themselves with players in football. Either it's for clubs, but for clubs it's different, because, for example, we have disagreement with people over some Olympiacos players, but we get to see them playing like 50 times per season. Meanwhile, you have people that hypes Zaferis, Constantelias, saying, hey, look at the lineup of Greece. You have Constantelias, Karetsas, Solis, Pavlidis, all of them performing in the club. And they're going to play 5 games for a year together. So you can't really hype that, because it needs more time to work. And I think tonight is a good reminder of that. National team football is super weird. The fact that Greece basically relies on Bakasetas offensively to build the structure is a good reminder of that. Konstantelias is more talented. No one is denying that, but it's not getting to that level yet.
I think I agree with what you just said, but also what Aris is saying in this comment. He blames the press for talking us up too much. I do think the Greek press has inflated Greek fans' impression of what the national team is and what the national team can achieve. And there's games like this that need to bring you back down to earth. Just like losing 3-0 at home to England after beating England at Wembley 2-1 was a sort of shock to the system, to go, oh, we're not as amazing as you think we are. And then there was a shock to the system, and we went and had the good result against Scotland. I think it's the same here, where the press is just overdoing it, and we need to sort of calm down a little bit. Right, let's move on. Let's talk Olympiacos a little bit, Olympiacos football, and then we'll close with basketball. Right, what's happened since the last time Olympiacos played? We've had the Champions League squads. Yes, that was after the last game, so we haven't had a show since then. So let's chat a little bit about the Champions League squads and next league game, and then the Champions League game. So everyone's got an opinion about the squads and who was cut and who wasn't cut. It was a tough decision. Pedences happened, yes. GS, yeah, Podense has happened. Forgot about that. The return of Podense. Your personal opinion on the Champions League squads? I know everyone disagrees. I'm sure we disagree. What do you think? Did Mendilibar made the right choices? We can all agree that it was tough. It was tough choice to make. But are you happy with the squad?
It's difficult because I've changed my mind multiple times since we know the list. The first thing I'm gonna say is I don't like when the club has to cut players, because even if I don't blame, overall the squad numbers is good when it comes to the number of players. The only issue I have is the Greek core. We missed the Greek core building of the team, and it led to Mendilibar having to cut 2 players, because I don't mind Mancha because he came so late that he wasn't going to play Champions League, in my opinion. And he's still young, he can improve. So I'm not counting him as a player being cut, even if he's one. But the issue I have, the biggest issue I have is with Cabela, because Yazici is a good, talented player. I love the guy, but we knew since the beginning it wasn't fitting with Mendilibar's tactic plans, and he was barely. He wasn't even a starter after the goal against Asteras, so I think it was a good hint. And the issue I have with Cabela is, I think we can't. How can I say that? Olympiacos as a club hasn't been playing Champions League for quite a long time now. And even with Martins at the end, the results weren't that good. If you look at the result, I mean. And I think we can't really afford to cut a player like Cabela that can come in for 30 minutes and to calm things. Like, we're going to play against massive team. And what if we play against Real Madrid, for example, and we're eating a pressure from the team from like 60 minutes, 70 minutes? You can't pass the ball more than 3 times. And you need those players to calm it. You know what I mean? And I think Cabela was kind of perfect in that role, to come in, have 2-3 good passes, win some fouls, to have the team calm down. And I think we're gonna regret that. But not that I have said that. I think overall Mendilibar made rational choices, because Cabela and Yazici, both of them, if they agree to stay, will be very helpful for the league, and they can play a true role for the club this season. But yeah, I had multiple feelings after the list. It's super difficult to say.
I agree with you, because I'm very mixed about this, because my first question would be, okay, if you don't cut them, especially Cabela, and I understand the Champions League experience, who do you cut instead?
Oh yeah, it's
this is the issue. Like, I don't have alternatives. That's what I'm concerned about. So I understand that people are like, oh yeah, how could you cut him? How could you cut this guy? How could you cut that guy? And it's like, yeah, I get it, but who do you cut instead? You're giving me problems. You're not giving me solutions. Do you get what I mean? Right. This is the perfect opportunity to bring in Ari, who's joined us. Bang on time. Welcome, Ari. How are you? Can you hear us?
Oh, hey guys. Can you hear me now?
There he is. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Yeah, just fine.
Welcome. You've missed the chat about Ethniki, but maybe for your mental health, it's good that you did, because as you know, it was a bit of a shit show. We were just talking
I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about it.
Oh, you're on the same page as Martial then, who's saying he's not as upset or disappointed about it as
No,
as
Denmark, like, do people don't remember people don't remember that Denmark's like a way better team than that. Most of those guys have been playing together in qualifications and in finals for 6 to 8 years. Look at the roster compared to ours. The Greek national team roster, we put a stat on it on socials. It's the third youngest roster in the
24 years old.
24 and a half years old. It's the third youngest roster in the current qualification phase for UEFA. It is our youngest squad we've ever gone into a qualification phase with, ever. And what we saw was an experienced side beat an unexperienced side. As much as I like to make fun of Bakasetas to piss Martial off, like Jovanovic should have started him today. It should have been like the Belarus lineup should have been the lineup he used. That would have, that's, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm not upset about it. The qualification will go fine. I bet you we beat them the second time around.
We're all sort of agreeing on the same thing with this, so we won't touch too much on it because it will just be going around in circles for the viewers. But we all agree on that, and I mean, personally, my opinion, it was always Scotland for second place. Denmark are a better team than us, and today for me was a game you can't afford to lose if you want to go for first place. And the fact that we lost has sort of shown me we can't get first place. And it all sort of goes to the game in Glasgow now, the next game, which again we can't afford to lose, because if we lose that game, I think we've lost second place as well, because Scotland got a draw away in Copenhagen. So but I do think we're going to be much better next couple of games. So I agree with you. I think they'll learn from their mistakes and something's going to switch, and Jovanovic going to play a different lineup, and also the players are going to be more controlled and disciplined when they go into those games.
We hope.
Let's go back now to where we were with the Olympiacos squad. We were just chatting with Martial about the Champions League lineup, the Champions League squad, and he was saying about Yazici and Cabella missing from the squad. And I was saying, I understand as to why people are like, oh, I can't believe they're missing, and it's so strange that he didn't include them. But at the same time, my question is, who do you take out instead? What are your thoughts on the squad, and what would you do differently if you could?
The two, Gustavo Mancha, first of all, we can kind of throw that one out. Like, that's Mendilibar hasn't seen the guy touch the ball. The guy's not making the UEFA list. It's not.
I think we all agree on that one.
Yeah, that one's the easiest, so we'll throw that one out. I have been saying since May that Yazici for Mendilibar, his purposes, Yazici's a square peg round hole. It's not a profile that Mendy likes. I think that Yazici, with what he did over the summer, very much made his case, and I think that he should have been included. But the question, and this is with respect to Yazici and Cabella, is, we have 8 matches in the league phase, right? Yazici and Cabella are players that we need for creativity, usually against a team that's like low block, right? We need them to spark creativity, usually against in those matches with the low block. What Mendilibar's thinking is, okay, I have 2 games against teams that probably will play low block against us, right?
Pafos and Karaid.
Exactly. Pafos and Kairat. So those are the ones that we will be more offensive. But the other 6 games, we are clearly the smaller fish. We are going to be the one that most teams will have the front foot, right? They're going to put numbers forward. They're going to expect that we are going to park the bus. They're going to expect that they can come after us. So his thinking is I probably need defensive players or more players that can cover more ground in the press, more so than 2 older guys that I rely on for creativity. That's how he's thinking about it. I have 6 games I need this more, and only 2 games where I need this. Where I think he made a mistake was, and again, like I said, Yazici was not the one that I thought was the surprise. I was expecting him not to be included. I have been saying from the beginning of the summer, even though I wanted him in the lineup, he was one that I thought Mendy would cut and would be gone from the roster altogether. That was my expectation at the beginning of the summer. The big one for me, the big surprise, is Remy Cabella. This guy has still been playing Champions League, and he covers a ton of ground even in those matches. Look what he did last year. The numbers speak for themselves, even at his age. He can't keep it up for 90 minutes, but he sure as hell can keep it up for 45, maybe 60 minutes. That's the one that surprised me. I also don't believe that the guy did not have some promise of Champions League when he signed here. Yazici, I doubt was given any promises. I doubt that.
Well, he signed last year. We didn't have Champions League last year.
Right. We didn't have we didn't have Champions League. He signed. He got rehabbed, so his expectations were less. And also think about it for him. He's not stupid. He knows his value in the market is better if he actually plays. The guy hasn't played much competitive football in the last year and a half. He's not marketable to teams, even if they do say they're interested in him. So it's better for him, even if he's not playing Champions League, to at least.
Adi, you've muted yourself. I don't know how.
I did that. I have no idea. But the point is, he knows it's better for himself to play, even if it's for half a season outside of Champions League, and get a move in the winter than to make a fuss and try to force his way out now, because he's not going to go anywhere he wants. So that case is easy. But we also have to recognize, like, bringing in Podence also changed a couple things. It wasn't what pushed us over the edge, because even if Adino came in, we probably would still have a similar issue, but but tougher decisions were made. The big issue with what happened with the UEFA list had more to do with us not selling Ortega than anything else. Us not selling Ortega and getting a Greek or European left back, we should say, that's really what hurt more than anything else, was getting rid of Ortega, both for the Greek list, for the Greek league, and for the UEFA list. If we could have gotten like even a GIANNIS, a Giannoulis, which was, probably out of reach for us, Tsimikas even, that would have solved so many problems. But
like he went to Roma on loan. Don't get me wrong, Roma's a big team, a lot of history. They're playing in the Serie A, better league. But I mean, surely there was a bit of chat there. They could have, unless he firmly shut that door and said, no, not yet, I'm not ready to return. Then I don't know how we didn't get him. But hey, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Yeah. That the Ortega thing.
His agent, I forgot which one of us messaged his agent, but his agent told us last year, like, he's not coming back to Greece. Like, that was very clear. And I doubt that changed. He would have entertained every offer first before coming back to Greece. It would have been his last ditch thing.
I think also what pisses me off a little bit is when you get a direct Champions League ticket, it's super difficult to anticipate the signings you could make, because something we can't avoid, and fans probably need to understand that, is that the more we go into the summer, the more opportunities we get from players that weren't willing to come to Greece at first, or from team that needs to sell player that they did not needed to sell before. And the issue with Kabela is that when we signed Kabela in April, I think we did not really assume the fact we signed this guy for Champions League, meaning that in order to have Kabela rosters, we needed to make room for Greek players and to sell some foreigners. And I don't know what we exactly kind of did, because we kept targeting foreign players without selling, for example, Ortega, or I don't know, Heze, or Gelson, or every player that had potential offers from abroad. But also, we were supposedly targeting Greek players that were out of reach. Tsimikas is one, but even Giannoulis, when you look at it, we had to pay, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 millions for the guy, when we could have signed GIANNIS on a decent wage on a free. We would have probably had to overpay the guy, but I think we tried to play on multiple. I don't know the word in English. We tried to play on multiple levels at the same time.
Yeah, multiple fronts.
And multiple fronts, and we were kind of caught by this at the end. Hence why and what shows that we improved is that years ago we would probably have sold Ortega without replacement. Nowadays, we say, okay, we did not sell Ortega, that kind of mistake, but it's better to keep the guy than selling him without plan behind.
The problem is, though, that we didn't get any official offers for Ortega. That's another thing. There was interest, but there was never an official offer placed for the guy. And he's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough to move him on. You're not going to get a lot of money out of him. And the most serious interest that existed was from South America. You're not going to get. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough end product to have a good sell fee for us, or we're going to end up probably losing money on this guy. If in that respect, we might barely even get book positive gain from him. That's the thing. And that's a serious position we need an upgrade, because going into Champions League with Ortega, who might have the technical ability, he does the basics right, and then you have Bruno, who is a physical specimen, probably Premier League tier when it comes to his physical traits, but then doesn't have the technical traits required to really do what we need in the final third. This is a position that I think we did not prioritize enough in the window, and I wish we did.
Right, guys. Panathinaikos on Saturday, and then Paphos on Wednesday. Right? Am I correct in saying Panathinaikos on Saturday? I think Panathinaikos.
Correct.
On Saturday.
That's correct.
Thoughts? How are we seeing? Because we're probably not going to have another show before that, an English show, before the Saturday game at least. How are we seeing that? I mean, as I was saying with Martial at the start of the show, it's so weird this first international break, because you've only just come back into the season, you've only just watched a couple of games with your team, and then boom, you suddenly have a pause again, international break, and you're like, oh fuck, now I've got to wait again to watch my team. But now international break's over, we can actually look forward to Olympiacos again. Thoughts? Surely we need to be getting 6 points out of 6 in both games, right?
Yes, I would say it's extremely disappointing if you don't.
No, but I was going to answer that those two games needs to show that Mendelebar's choice are worthy of it, because what am I expecting is very simple. Is, of course, winning against Panathinaikos with both Kabela and Yazici part of it. Maybe one of the two, or if the two scoring or assisting, I don't know, to prove that they can be useful for the league, because the first goal is to win the league again, to be in the Champions League again. And second thing is, I'm expecting to see Pdense against Paphos. I know he's not going to start this game, but the last thing that frustrated me with the Champions League roster is that we gave it on a plate for Pdense that came late, injured, with no preparation. It's quite unfair on paper, even if the guy deserved it. So I truly hope we are not going to see a situation in which it's going to be ready in October. We need 6 points, that's for sure, but we need some ingredients in it. You know what I mean? We would need probably, I don't know, Taremi being decisive in one of those two games, Yazici, Kabela, and stuff, like all those cut players being part of it. And yeah,
I'm a little bit more flexible. I agree 50% with what you said, Martial. I'd like to see something like that in the game against Panathinaikos. In the game against Paphos, I don't care if we win 1-0 and the ball's gone in off a bird that's flown over the pitch and the cross has hit the bird and it's landed in. I know it's crazy to say, but when it comes down to Champions League, both with any chance of qualifying, but even a win, the points it does, it works in the coefficient for Greece, and also the money that the team gets per win and per positioning that we finish. I think it's the most important thing. And even if we don't manage to qualify, any win, any position, any extra goal, anything is a good thing. So I agree about Panathinaikos. I'd love to see Kabela, I'd love to see Yazici, Taremi, Potentes, people that you need, you're expecting the new signings, you sort of want them to sort of show something. But against Pafos, I don't care if it goes off someone's bum. Honestly,
I'm with you.
care.
I'm with you.
But we have to win that game against Pafos, and I'm worried. It would have been I would have preferred. I don't know if people are going to disagree with me, but I would have preferred an away game against a big team as the first game that we're not expected to get a result out of, than a game which is a must win at home. Because the team obviously has had the off season, has had the preseason, and we've had a couple of games, so we've just on the back of international break, and it's still early on. They haven't gelled, new signings, this, that. I would have rather the games against Karat, against Pafos, the home games that we have against the bigger teams, the games that we're hoping to get points from. I would have had them a little bit later, and I would have hoped for that first game to be, the Barcelona at Camp Nou or the Real Madrid at home, the two games that you sort of, or the Emirates game at Arsenal. Actually, no, we're going to win that one. But, the games where you're not expecting to get any points, I would have rather had them first. Just because in Greek we say, "Mirizi kazo," like it's smelling that something could go wrong here. And I hope I'm wrong, but I'm like G's saying here, Bafo scares him a little bit. Especially the centre forward and the guy with the afro on the wing. Yeah, they're not pushovers. They earned their position in the Champions League. And I don't think it's going to be as easy as we think. And I'm scared. I want to make sure that we win no matter what. And yeah, tricky game. I would have rather they were second for us.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. My biggest fear right now, and I know this is what we're going to see, not just with Olympiacos coming up next weekend, but also with Pafos. I think we're going to see what we've been seeing the first two match days with Mendilibar. We're going to have a first half where all we're doing is punting the ball into the penalty area, crosses, and we're going to be frustrated. It's going to feel like there's no creativity, and we're not going to score. And then second half changes will be made. We'll probably score against Olympiacos, and we'll probably get a result there. But in Champions League, I worry that if we make the changes too late, the competition's better. We're going to end up losing points. That's what I worry about, because we know this is what we're going to see. We've been seeing the same from Mendilibar for almost 2 years now. And my biggest fear is that all of a sudden the pressure's on us because we're not doing what we're supposed to be. We don't have a second plan except for cross. I know guys like that Emmy are supposed to be our answer for that. He's another head in the box, great in the air, can also help distribute a little bit right there in the penalty area. Speaking of, that scouting report should be done tonight. But anyway, that's our MO against these smaller teams. It's super frustrating. We should be blowing them out, but we end up just crossing 50, 60 times and hoping for the best. That's the most frustrating part, and that's what I worry is going to end up happening to us.
Ari, your fear, I'd rather have your fear than have my fear. I didn't want to say it because people are going to crucify me, but I'm really worried it might I hope it's not, touch wood, but it's Freiburg 2-3, the 2023-2024 season.
That'd be worse.
I'm scared it might be like was that 2023-2024? Yeah, that was the season one.
Yeah, it was 23-24. Diego Martinez.
First game of Europa League. Yeah, Martinez. Where Heze they broke his nose, and we were that game.
Oh, we were the better team that game, man. We were way better.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's what I'm sort of scared of. I really hope I'm wrong. Because I'd probably break something if that happened. If we had a game like that. Yeah, I really hope not. Martial, hopefully you're more up to, you don't have any sort of fears like we do when it comes down to this.
No, it's. I was just looking at the schedule, and yeah, it's getting more. I wasn't aware that we were entering an era of more games. I know Champions League is coming, but then you have Panathinaikos away, Asteras away. It's gonna be a true roller coaster. We all wanted to play
until the next international break.
And don't forget this dog shit league phase Greek Cup that we have to do now too. Don't forget that crap.
No, because we have Panathinaikos away, Asteras away, Olympiacos,
Yeah.
Levadiakos at home, Arsenal away, PAOK away.
It's gonna be tough, man. This is a tough run of fixtures.
Yeah. That's the Greek Cup is starting. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be later.
No, man, because of the league phase, it's a little earlier. And it's
He
not like
better play the kids in some of those cup games.
you have to, man. Like forget
I don't know
about it.
if you remember the era of the Greek Cup you could watch on Laola TV, if you remember.
I
The
do
Greek-
remember that. Oh my god.
The
The
Greek
fuck is
face.
Laula TV, guys. How old are you? What is that?
The Greek phase of the Greek Cup when we were fielding the shittiest player on the squad, to rotate the team against.
Yeah.
We were even playing third division team. It was
Back then, oh my god, yeah. That was before they started like that ranking system where like, oh, okay, the top league teams like come in later in the rounds, right? Like round of 16, like Olympiacos doesn't get drawn before round of 16, stuff like that. It was before that, yeah. God, Martial, I can't believe you remember that too. Why am I surprised? Of course you remember that. You remember players I don't even remember. So,
Bro,
that's the
Martial
funny thing
is
about
more.
that.
He's more Greek and he's more Gavros than any of us. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I enjoyed that era because it was free football on a website, and you could put that on the TV, with the HDMI cable. And when you were used to see Greek games on computer or streaming websites, it was horrible. It also, Greek Cup was the only way of seeing like Greek players, Greek talents, youngsters. It was like not so long ago, but the clubs improved so much when you think of it. Like
Martial,
guys like Mouzakitis would have played 2 games 10 years ago, and it would have been the Greek Cup stage.
if you weren't a journalist, you should have been a football scout.
Yeah.
I think you would
For
have been
sure.
great at it. I think you would have absolutely loved it as well. I could picture you with your hat on like some rogue part of the world watching some 16-year-old because some guy at the restaurant told you that he's got an incredible left foot and you're just there watching him play, taking down notes. I think you'd love it. I think you'd absolutely love it.
It's basically what I've did this summer when I went to Portugal. Because
Were you sending scout reports to Olympiacos?
no, but I went to see Rio Ave. I've seen Rio Ave play twice, and yeah, it's really interesting to see from the stadium. It's completely different when you see from the stadium.
Yeah.
Because the thing you don't see when you watch the game on TV, it's what happened before the game and after, like how the player behave, the attitude and stuff like that. And it's very interesting to see that. So yeah.
Martial would end up getting fired as a scout because every place he would go see players, he would like recognize some random guy that played in like 2nd or 3rd division Greece. He'd be like, "Oh my god, this is Stavro Papadoudis from Iliopoli. This guy played in Greece 2 years ago. Holy cat!" And then he would forget what he was there and who he was there to scout. That's what would end up happening.
It's funny because it happened when I went to see Benfica B team playing against Lourosa, a club that is around Porto. It's 2nd division, so it's quite a good level. And they had a left back, and I had the game sheets with the teams, and I was like, man, Luis Rocha, it rings a bell. And yeah, it was a former Panathinaikos left back for
There
years
you go.
ago.
See,
Martial goes to games that no one else goes to. You might be the only fan at these games, bro. What do you mean Benfica B team against some Portuguese 2nd division? Like, what is going on? I think
no, but it was a Panathinaikos at some point they had a bridge with Benfica. They had players coming from Benfica, and I remember that time of Greek football. But also I've seen Thiago Silva playing live. All the players at Rio Ave. It's such a nice country, Portugal.
It is. Are we? We've gone over the 1 hour mark. Do we think we're done with football? Can we move on to basketball briefly before we round up? I know neither of you are basketball experts, but do we have anything else we want to talk about football wise before we move on?
How many points do you think Olympiacos will get in the league phase?
Of the Champions League?
Yeah.
How many do I think or how many do I hope?
Well, what do you think? How many do you think? Let's do it this way. Let's make it easier. Do you think we qualify for knockouts?
I think no. I don't think we're going to qualify in the top 24.
Martial?
It's difficult to answer. I would say no, but winning against Pafo is gonna be key for that. It's gonna be super difficult if we don't win against Pafos, for sure.
God damn. Nicholas says we're gonna finish 9th.
Bro, I want your optimism. Adi, what do you think? Do you think we're going to finish in the top 24?
So, not a single odds maker and not a single one of the data accounts that I follow thinks we're going to be top 24. Football Meets Data had us at 25, but with 58% chance of qualifying, if that makes sense. So, like, there were teams that were ranked higher, which is why we were in the 25th spot, but they still had us at 58% chance. I think we make it to the knockouts, yeah. The team has enough talent. I've actually been, this is something that might come up later this week, but I've been doing like a roster analysis of every team and the teams that have qualified from past seasons. And we have a good squad, guys. Like, we have a very talented squad. I really do think we're going to make the knockouts. It's going to be tough. As long as we win the games we're supposed to, we have to upset once or twice, but I think we'll make the knockouts.
I hope so. I hope you're right and we're wrong. From your mouth to God's ear. Now, that was a Greek. That was a literal translation of a Greek saying for all of you non-Greek speakers. I mean, yeah, I hope you're right. I'm just worried about the games that we're expected to win. No, Nicholas, if we finish 9th, we are in the knockouts.
Well, yeah. If you 9th,
if you finish between 9th and 24th, you're in the round of 32. No, 16. You're in the round of 32. Wait, how many teams are in the Champions League right now?
It's
36
teams.
36 teams. If you finish between 8th and 24th,
you're in the knockouts.
You're in the knockouts.
Playoff round. Yeah, they call
the
it
playoff round. How many teams are going to be in that? 24.
It's teams 9 to 24.
Yeah, 9 to 16. So yeah, but it'll be the top 24.
Right.
Yeah, because you'll have the 8 that have already qualified. So
that's the 8 that go to the round of 16, correct?
Yeah, and then you go to the round of 16 afterwards. Yeah. If you qualify in the top 8, then you automatically go round to the top to the round of 16.
Like what happened with us last year.
Yeah, like what happened with us last year, and then we got bummed by Porto. Exactly. Right. Anything else football-wise? All good? Right. Quick one with basketball. Is Giannis the best player you've ever watched play basketball?
No.
Whoa.
Only because look, I'm not a basketball person, but I used to have MJ. When I was little, MJ was still a thing, so I always remember him. And Kobe.
Yeah, but what Giannis is doing in the Eurobasket, man, like, I don't know. Did you guys did either of you watch the game yesterday, or the highlights, or see the stat sheet?
I did.
Martial, any idea about yesterday's game?
Unfortunately, I don't watch basketball.
Giannis basically had the equivalent of scoring 4 goals in a game, 5 goals in a game. He was unstoppable. 37 points, 10 rebounds, unstoppable.
The only thing I know is that it would be I don't know, it's symbolical, but also massive if Greece wins it with Giannis, because he just can't retire without a big title with Greece.
He has to.
Exactly. Yeah. He has to.
We know that in basketball, it's difficult for key players from the NBA to lead their team to success, especially when they are European. But No, it just has to happen. It has to happen. It has to be now, and because it's the
This is
story
the best
itself
opportunity.
is bigger than basketball, almost.
I agree. He's won everything there is to win, both individually and with his club.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it with Greece yet. This is the best opportunity. Serbia are out, the favourites. France, one of the other two favourites. I know Martial was crying the other day when Georgia beat them. Obviously, no Wembanyama, who's arguably one of the top 5 best players in the world, and France didn't have him playing. No
It's like
Fournier,
Gumby.
no Fournier either. What did you say, Ali? Sorry.
Wembanyama's like Gumby. Did you ever see that show growing up? Gumby?
No, what's that? Is that an American
Martial,
show?
do you know what I'm talking about? Gumby?
Yeah, it rings a bell. It rings a bell.
It basically was like one of those like clay animation things, and Gumby like could like stretch his arms all the way.
Oh, because he's so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the guy is incredible. But yeah, I mean France and Serbia, they were 2 of the 3 favorites to win it alongside Germany. Obviously, Turkey have been incredible, and Turkey and Germany are, in my opinion, now the 2 favorites. But this is a massive opportunity for Greece and for Giannis to do it. And Giannis has been absolutely unplayable, in my opinion. He's been excellent the whole tournament. Yesterday, he did whatever the fuck he wanted. But it's a team sport. It's like, you could have Messi, you could have Ronaldo in a football team, but if the rest of the team isn't playing well, they can't get you all the way to the top and win everything. You need a supporting cast. And shout out to Papa Nicolau. I know Slukas, we have a lot of opinions about him as Olympiacos fans, but it's their last tournament for the national team. Yeah. They're going to give it their all. Papa Nicolau yesterday was excellent on defense on Israel's
Yeah, he smothered that guy.
Yeah, he absolutely smothered him, exactly. And tomorrow is a huge game against Lithuania, who are a powerhouse in basketball traditionally. They're one of the best teams in Europe, always, consistently. And this is one of the stats that we have to improve. 4 from 25 from 3-point yesterday. Considering the first 5 games in the group stages, we were excellent from 3-point. Yesterday, we were shit, but we still managed to win. And against a team like Lithuania that I think is tougher than Israel, has got bigger bodies. Israel doesn't have big bodies. That's why Giannis was absolutely dominating inside. Lithuania has players like Valanciunas who are big boys, and they're gonna bump Giannis a lot. So it's gonna be tricky. Nicholas's question here: Giannis versus Sabonis. I don't think Sabonis is playing. I
have no idea.
Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I would have seen more about Sabonis if he was playing. I'm just Googling that now. I haven't watched any of Lithuania's games, but I don't think... Is he playing?
Well, while you're looking that up, maybe you can explain to me why...
Sorry?
Well, I was going to say, while you were looking it up, you can explain to me... Again, I'm not a basketball expert. Why does Slukas suck?
I don't think he's... personality-wise and towards Olympiacos, or with his points and stuff?
Oh, no, he just didn't look good. I think
the problem with Slukas is he's old. Now he's clearly well past it. Olympiacos made the right move when we got rid of him when we did. Maybe a year too early, but it's very clear. Like, I mean, maybe when Panathinaikos won the EuroLeague, he was just on such a... I hate Olympiacos so much for letting him go, and I hate Barzokas that it willed him to play better. But from last season onwards, it's clear age has caught up with him.
Yeah.
And he isn't fast enough anymore. He isn't... he's still got the brain for it, but he's just not there physically in the same way that he used to be to finish as well under the basket or to hit those threes as consistently anymore. And that's clearly something that is evident. However, Greece is so poor talent-wise that he's the best point guard we've got. And if he's not on the court, we struggle on offense. He's the only point guard. He's the only architect. He's a number 10 of football. Without him, there's no offense. And it's evident. So no matter how much I hate him, he's crucial for this team.
Yeah.
He's the only player we have in that position that can actually produce. And I think tomorrow is going to be a tricky game. And do you know what's crazy? If we win tomorrow, God, I hope I'm not jinxing it. It's going to be the first time Greece are in the semi-finals of a competition since 2009.
It's been that long, really?
It's been that long.
Damn.
2009, when we lost in the semis to, well, I'm going to guess Spain. We always lose to Spain. I have a feeling it was Spain. So yeah, it's a big game tomorrow. Big game. Huge game. So hopefully Giannis has another monster performance and the supporting cast can turn up, because Dorsey needs more space to shoot. He didn't have enough space yesterday, so hopefully he gets that space tomorrow. Papanikolaou plays the games that he's had the last 2 games with both defense and hitting the big shots. Lucas has another solid performance where he has 10 points, 5 assists. What you expect from him. And then you have the X factors. Players like Samo Durov, who yesterday I thought was excellent. Players like Kalaitzakis on defense, again, excellent. Mitoglu needs to pick up his performance. Nicolas here is asking thoughts on Kalaitzakis. Kalaitzakis hasn't played enough for me to have thoughts. He's been a bench warmer the majority of this tournament. He hasn't had the opportunity to sort of show. And I think him and Kalaitzakis play the same sort of position, like hustle on defense, and shooting a couple of threes. And Kalaitzakis has just done that more, so he's taken his minutes. As simple as that, I think. Yeah, G agrees here with me that Samo Durov was a beast last night. I think Samo Durov is excellent. Panathinaikos have got a great player on their hands there. Very jealous. I'd love to have a player like him at Olympiacos. And G, again, Dorsey's looking good. Expect big things from him in the EuroLeague this year. I think the Greek League finals, where we won a couple of months ago, and the way Dorsey played, saved his career.
Yeah, it did.
He was 1 foot out of never playing EuroLeague basketball again. And
you didn't recognize him in the playoffs.
You didn't recognize him. Those 3 games against Panathinaikos, game 2, 3, and 4, he was incredible. It was like the game he had against Spain, and he is needed. His 3-point shots is needed. His offense is needed. With someone like Giannis stretching the floor and the way he runs and then dishing it out to Dorsey, it's needed. Against Israel, they were really tight on him. It was very good defense. He didn't have the chance to shoot any threes. He had a couple of drives and shots from inside, but hopefully tomorrow he has more space and he drills them. And if he starts making them early on, he's going to go off. So I'm optimistic about tomorrow. I'm optimistic. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. 9 p.m. Greek time tomorrow. Greece against Lithuania. Huge game for Greek basketball. I have a tiny bit of me deep down trying not to get too excited, but things could be falling into place for us. Hopefully. Let's hope so. It'll be quite the surprise, considering how much the Greek public and particularly Panathinaikos fans and Panathinaikos media were shitting on this team because of Spanoulis, obviously. Right. We've nearly hit 1 hour 20. I think we've covered everything. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we sign off? I know it's super late. It's like past 1 a.m. in Greece, past midnight in Central Europe, past 11 p.m. here in London. I'll pass it over to you guys for your good nights and any last thoughts you may have.
I don't know if you guys already mentioned it at the beginning of the show or not, but we
20K Instagram followers,
20K Instagram. We actually also hit 17,000 on Facebook too, so we're taking off there. There's, in celebration of the big 20K, there's a giveaway coming. So if you don't follow us on Instagram already, check it out. There is a giveaway that ends, I think, in 2 days, 2 or 3 days. So that's going to be finished. So
the 10th,
there's still a giveaway for the 3rd kit.
Yeah.
That's going on. So you can enter to win the 3rd kit. And then the next giveaway you'll see, I believe that will run tomorrow. It'll start tomorrow. So follow the directions for another chance to win.
And we've got more giveaways after that too.
A lot of great stuff coming out, guys. Like a lot of fun stuff coming out. There's been giveaways constantly. So constantly check our socials for that. A lot of information too. I believe the women's team got started finally. They had a friendly. They won, I believe, in their friendly that they played earlier. The B team's supposed to be getting started soon as well. So a lot of fun stuff's going to be happening, and we're going to be dialed in with all of that as well. So really exciting stuff. I mean, a lot of things going on this season. So stay up with it.
Martial? You're muted.
Nothing to add. Nothing to add. I'm just waiting for Champions League to come.
Okay, I'll sign off then. Just a reminder, we're this year and since the summer, we're not just an English-based channel and page and show. We also have the Greek show. It's been on a hiatus over the summer break over the past couple of weeks. Hopefully, it'll be back ASAP on Wednesdays, where we dive into all things Olympiacos, but in Greek, because we do have quite a large audience that is Greek. So keep an eye out on that. We appreciate all of your support. Please go like, subscribe, like this video. It means the world to us. Your anything that you can do to help the algorithm is greatly appreciated. If you can follow us on social media, we appreciate that too. As Ari said, and as I said at the start of the show, we hit 20K Instagram followers. And we were saying with Martial at the start of the show, we hit 10K a year ago. I remember
less than a year ago.
It was September last year. I remember going out with friends. It was like a Saturday or a Sunday for lunch and having to record my part of the thank you video. And I was like by a bus stop or something outside, and it was in September. And now a year on, we've doubled that. It's incredible. We thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it so much. And if you can, please support us on Patreon. As I've mentioned before, all of your monetary support goes straight back into 307 International to produce the best content that we physically can for you guys. And yeah, we appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much. And with that, it's been a pleasure chatting to you guys tonight. Yes, Greece weren't at the level that we expected, but hopefully the basketball team makes us feel a lot better tomorrow. And then Olympiacos is back on Saturday, and then Champions League from next week for the first time in what? 5 years? 4 years? 5 years? I can't wait. So it's been a pleasure. Good night, and we'll catch you all very soon. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
My computer's frozen.